Hey everyone. Today I'm going to be giving you guys a few tips on getting your tracks ready to master, at least loosely some basic tips. Obviously, I can't sum up how to make a great mix that's perfectly ready to be mastered in a short video, but I feel like there's a few things you can do that make it easier. So, first, I recommend you bounce your track out to audio, just to one file, and then open up a blank session in your digital audio workstation and just drag the track back in. And we're going to look at the waveform reading, and we're going to look for any major peaks that look like they would hit the limiter first or cause us some issues when we try to basically smash this down to get as much volume out of it as we can. So if you are like me and you mix kind of quiet, your track isn't going to have that big of a waveform. So what we're going to do first is pull up a utility plugin, gain. I'm pretty sure Ableton has the same thing, more or less. So we're going to just get this more up to level so we can get a better look at it. Okay, so we're going to bounce that out so we can see what it looks like. In Ableton, you freeze and render to audio, whatever it is. So here we are. We can see that there's definitely some stuff sticking up. I went back into this project and purposefully made a bunch of stuff way too loud for the purpose of this video. So if you do this and your track has all these kind of peaks, you'd want to go in and see what those are, basically. So we're going to check it out. So that reverse guitar, reverse build thing is way too loud every time it happens. Let's see what else is. Oh, and those 808s are really sticking out. Yeah, we can't have that. So basically we would go through and look at all these. These are sticking out too much too. Basically we want everything to kind of like these be the max because these are normal kicks and snares. It's okay to have your kicks and snares stick out a little bit from the meat of the track. That's probably what you want. But we want these peaks right here to be like the max. So everything that's above that, we want to go through, find. So all those kicks in the build are too loud. Another one of the reverse noises. We just go through, make sure. I would like write down on a notepad or notes in my phone or something the timestamps of all these. And then we would reopen the other project and go back in there. Another thing you can do is you could just put a limiter on your master channel and, you know, take just the normal part. So all your kicks and snares are hitting like around 1 dB, 2 dB. And then just go through and watch the whole song on the limiter. And when it gets really overloaded, you know that you need to turn those noises down. Your kick and your snare should be probably the only things hitting the limiter at this volume. So let's take a look a little bit. Sorry, I was on the section that didn't have anything loud. Yeah, so there we can see the 808s are way too loud. Yeah, so that's a good way to tell too. But then you have to look and pay attention for the whole song. It can be tedious. This is a good way to just check really quick. So now let's say go back into the project, fix all that. This is the real pre-master that I have for this. So we'll do the same thing. We'll just put it on the same exact gain, bounce it out. Okay, so now this is looking good. This is looking ready to master. I can see that I have these peaks a little louder than those ones. I think that's the snare in this section. It's different than the other sections. It's a little louder, but it's close enough that I can work with it. Um, so another step would be checking the tonal balance, which I have another video up with a tutorial of tonal balance control by Isotope. So you would just take a look at that. This one's fitting perfectly into the target, which is great, but if there was like some buildup in the low mids, sub bass way too loud, highs way too loud, then you would want to go back into the mix and identify what's causing those and rein them in a bit. Sometimes that can be a little challenging at first. What you could do is go into the settings on this and one sec. There they are. You can turn the average time down or to real time. And then you kind of would be able to visually see which elements are sort of causing what you're seeing. Yeah, so you can kind of see each noise individually there. So you would be able to see, oh, it's that noise that has too many low mids, or, something like that. So these are, the basic tips. You just want your song to be uniform. Another thing is you don't want to have a limiter on your master. You don't want your song to already be heavily limited going into mastering. If anything, if you need to take the limiter off, turn everything down. If you don't have automated volume, if you do, you might be able to just turn it down on the master channel. But basically, you don't want to be heavily limited, and you don't want to be clipping over 0 dB on your master channel, which a lot of people will say you need -6. That's kind of like a relic from a long time ago. As long as it's under 0, we can handle it, because I can just turn it down or up to the level I need it to be. So really, if it's under 0 dB, it's good to master, as long as it's consistent throughout. There's nothing that's going to give the limiter a big problem, especially really loud sub bass noises, low bass noises. Those are the first things to clip a limiter and cause distortion, are lower frequency noises. So you want that to all be really consistent. Look at a lot of analyzers, make sure read the volume readout of all the noises containing sub is consistent. Your kicks and snares should just be resting right above the meat of the track, and you're probably good to go if that's all going on for you. So that's pretty much all I have to say in this video. And again, if these things are all going on for your track, that doesn't necessarily mean you have a good mix, but it does mean that your track will probably be able to be mastered without too much trouble. So that's what I have to say for today, and I hope that helped some of you a little bit. Subscribe if you want to hear more like this. Leave me some feedback. Tell me what you think. You can ask me any questions too. And if you want to get any of your music mastered by me, I do offer that. I'll leave my email in the description. Hit me up. Thanks, guys.